Boom, 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 boom again. We're live. We're live. I'm live. I say we're, but it is literally just me. Boom, live, episode 3. We'll see if anybody joins this one. So far, none. No joins. That's okay. Just started out episode 3. Not really telling people about it. Really, nobody knows what's going on. So a little late to the game today, rolling in hot. Kind of thought of a lot of things last minute. Not that I think of much. I try not to think at all. Came in it today, really winging it. I mean, really winging it hard. No plans, no nothing. Threw some stuff together this morning. Will it stick? Most of the times, no. Most of the times, the spaghetti I throw against the wall just falls off. I don't cook spaghetti right. I don't cook a lot. I reheat stuff well, though. I will tell you that. Reheating skills, top notch. Episode 3. I named this episode Empowresponsicate. Empowresponsicate. I put together the words empowered, communicate, and responsibility, and had a little system spit out some creativity ideas for me, and it spit out 5 of them. 5 of them. And the one I liked the most was Empowresponsicate, because I wanted to hit on this episode the 3 avenues, which would be empowered, communication, and responsibility. I kind of wanted to merge those together and talk about how we can have empowered communication for ourselves that gives us a higher level of responsibility, which might take more effort, but it gives us more responsibility in each given situation, which actually makes us more empowered. They all kind of fit together, being empowered means you will tend to be more responsible. Communicating in empowered ways gives you the strength to be responsible. I'm just trying to merge all of them together right now, and I don't know if it's working too well. Empowered, responsibility, communicate, or those 3 in some general order. So I kind of have a few things I want to go over. Also, let's just start. Welcome to episode 3, The Eternal Wizard Sage of Falafadorf. These are the long format episodes, which I've explained. I have shorts I put out there, Wizard Falafadorf, at Wizard Falafadorf. That's F-A-L-O-U-P-H-A-D-O-R-F, Falafadorf. You can check them out. Those are the trampoline exercise videos. I love trampolining. I love bouncing. I love jumping. I love jump roping. I love going up and down. So I've been making some trampoline exercise videos showing you guys some beginner, moderate level to advanced. I even put out, I will be putting out this next week, an advanced move. So you can follow along. Those workout little things, maybe throw together your own routine. It's good exercise. Jumping, I think it's called reflexology is the terminology for jumping exercise. And the gyration, the bouncing, good for strengthening the eyes, the muscles, the joints. Basically like running, I guess, with a little bit of bounce to it. That's always nice. Softens on the joints. Helps the reverberation of the spine. I do have a degree. I have a couple degrees, but one of them, was in sports and exercise and nutrition and kinesiology and physiology and anatomy and all that stuff. So haven't used that in a long time. I do know some stuff. Eventually, maybe on some of those shorts, I'll put out some of my information that's, stuck up there in the old noggin. The old noggin? I'm 40. I don't know if that's old. It is old for some. I love it, though. Oh, I love getting older. It just seems to be great. For me right now, anyway. Maybe it'll get worse over time. Maybe there's some peaks and valleys. Either way, where I'm riding is going well. And I've gotten into a new routine where I, hike a lot, jump a lot, bounce a lot, and don't eat a lot. That's working for me. Will it lead to detrimental health effects down the road for not eating except for once a day? Maybe, but why not try it? Why not see what happens? Back to the episode at hand. Episode 3, The Eternal Wizard Sage of Falafadorf. Really, these episodes are just me being honest, talking about what I do vaguely, bringing that back to skills that have helped me, maybe skills that will help you. And so I kind of piece together a lot of one-on-one time I have with clients, things we've gone over, things that I've had to deal with or overcome, challenges I've had, and skills I've learned that have helped me maintain, a more stable fluidness to my personality, not so much the turmoil that life can cause. The ups and downs, the offenses, the defenses, the vindications, the blaming, the victimization, the power stance, all those things that lead to these human dynamics where our relationships become, how are we relating? What do I relate to you that I want related back to me? And we miss the opportunity to love one another and grow with one another. A lot of times our relationships are based off exchanges. And I give you this, you give me this. I do this for you, so I expect this in return. If I don't get it in return, then I'm going to be pissed. I put an expectation on this. I didn't just give you a gift. I didn't just buy you this shirt. I didn't just buy you these shoes, honey. I'm expecting something back now. Our relationship is built on exchanges. It's not, it's not communicating through love, compassion, and all those things that lead to more positive interactions. It's built on expectations. And I'm relating to you through mechanisms of exchange. I want my piece back. I want my stuff back. Tit for tat, cat for nip, little for diddle. Whatever that means. That's a good enough intro, I think. Again, these intros are supposed to be 5 to 10 minutes. I'm in that window range. And so we're just going to communicate honestly. Being honest, big time me being honest with myself, being truthful to myself so that I can be led, or I can create within me a more authentic expression, becoming more of myself and hopefully creating the authentic version of myself so that it doesn't change from work to friends to home to kids to parents. My personality always is the same. How I interact might be more professional, less professional, more goofy, more strict. Doesn't matter, but still, the way I come across is Wizard Falafador style every time, even at work. You got to deal with that. And if I get fired, it's worth it. It's worth getting fired to be authentic. I mean, literally, it's being authentic is a risk. People might not like you. Your job might not fit you. Your spouse might not like who you become, and that's okay. You've got to risk everything for authenticity. Do I honestly want to do this? Am I being extremely truthful with how I feel in this interaction, in this dynamic? Whatever it takes to get you to be more authentically yourself. Because I believe, I could be wrong, I'm wrong about tons of things every day. I believe when you start to live more authentically to your personality, to your sense of humor, to the way you want to dress, talk, act, you will be guided towards the job that fits you the best, the personal relationships that fit you the best, the type of house, the type of car. I drive a 2004 Suburban with 300,000 miles on it. My dad gifted it to me because my other car broke down. It was newer. It was, some people would say, nicer. It was a luxury vehicle. I love this Suburban. I love it. I mean, sometimes I will go to the grocery store, and as I'm walking to my car, I will get wisps of teardrops in my eyeballs over the beauty of my black 2004 LT Suburban. It's beautiful. Pure joy. I mean, I'm getting goosebumps. Pure joy exuberates, reverberates through my body because I love this car so much. That is authentically me. I like big Suburbans. Grew up in Suburban. My dad drove a Suburban from the day I really can think that I took notice of cars. And so my joy has been in Suburbans. I love that Suburban. My 2013 Lincoln Navigator, it was a beautiful car. I love it. Wish it never, broke down. But I was guided. I was guided into a car with more miles, 9 years older, and I love it. I mean, I love it. So that's what I'm trying to get out through these episodes. Hopefully we'll get more people on. Hopefully, did talk to a buddy today. Hopefully he'll come on at some point. And we have people who can engage in conversation, talk about themselves, be honest and truthful in this episode with me, with you guys, and maybe they become more authentic, or maybe they find more, or maybe they give examples that help lead me or others to authenticity. So, boom, that's basically the episode. What I really wanted to focus on, even though the episode's called Empowresponsicate, is empowered communication. The way we talk to others and within ourselves can lead towards feelings of empowerment, can lead towards feelings of strength, courage, and personal wisdom to make better choices, react better, respond better to situations. An example that I probably have given before, but I'd like to give it again, is the difference between when we say, "You're making me mad," versus "I choose to be mad." Or "You're making me frustrated," versus "I choose to be frustrated." These are things that I point out in conversation with clients and subtly with family, but mostly with clients, to help them communicate in more empowered ways. Say I have a client who says, "My mom was making me really frustrated today." I want to pull back on that. Makes you, they make you. Your internal communication is what is deciding these things. Especially when I'm in a situation, I'm an unbiased, no skin in the game perspective to many families I work with. I don't have skin in the game. I don't have a bias. I don't care if you guys use 4-letter words to each other all the time. I don't care if you guys have strict cleaning rules in your house because you want spick and span, not a dust anywhere. I don't care how you want to live. Those are your choices. I'm not here to tell you the right way to live. I'm not here to tell you you need to put in more rules or you need to have more punishments. I'm here to manage the communication between individuals and to make sure that everyone is explaining themselves in a empowered, responsible way that is communicating clearly what they're going after. And that the response does not weave or bend to being offended or defensive or victim talk or overpower talk, control talk, we could say. I'm here to guide that so that the response comes from personal, empowered communication and taking responsibility. I mean, in a lot of these conversations, we are setting boundaries. We are going over rules. But it's also getting away all of the guff, all of the weeds that grow in these fields of communication and helping us to be more empowered. Yeah, I'm choosing to be frustrated by what you said. Then we can work back why you are making those choices. Because in a conflict, we can walk away. We could leave the situation. Maybe we do feel frustrated. Maybe we do feel anger over a situation, but we can still choose to walk away. We can still choose to not respond negatively or to not respond defensively. We can choose to take time to think about how we want to respond and deal with this situation. And then when we choose, it puts the power back towards us. Why am I choosing this? Nobody's making me think a certain way. My mom's response isn't making me angry. I'm perfectly allowed to choose anger in a response. If somebody scratched my 2004 Suburban, I might choose to be angry over it. They didn't make me angry because some people don't really value their car. And it's a bad example for me. I mean, you're talking to a guy who's driven his car through, hard frozen stick sagebrush and probably scratched up my own vehicle, but I like it. It gives it what I like to call, or what I've heard called, baraka, which I believe means aged grace. I like it. I like the creases in my leather seat. Don't want to cover them up. I want to see the creases. I want to see the wear and tear of that relationship. But again, back to the example. If I'm coming out of the grocery store and I see some guy for no reason keying my 2004 Suburban in the middle of an Albertsons parking lot, I'm going to choose to be angry over that. That's something I value. They're not making me angry. I'm the one who values the Suburban. I'm the one who values it not getting destroyed for no reason. I'm the one valuing that. So I'm going to choose to be angry, and I will respond in an upset way. I will talk to you. I will confront this situation. But again, these are all my choices. So it's not about not being angry or not being frustrated or sad or grieved or whatever. But it's about having the empowered communication to say to myself, I am choosing this. My thinking, my thoughts, the words in my head, I'm going to choose. Why is that person keying my car? I don't like that they're keying my car. I'm upset about that. I'm not going to go up to them and go, you're making me mad because you're keying my car. No, I am upset. I'm choosing to be angry over this. And I am choosing to respond in a way to protect my valuable things. That's a big part of the empowered communication so that we can be more responsible. And then it helps me choose how I want to respond better because the choices are coming from me. When I think somebody else is making me angry, oh, you're making me mad for keying my car. Well, then they're making that emotion. Now it's way harder for me to control this wave of emotion. And this wave is crashing and telling me I'd even make it. What am I supposed to do with this? I can't keep up with this. I'm just getting tossed around, hitting my face on coral. Maybe a shark grabbed my legs, pull me under a little deeper. All these things are happening to me that I didn't want to choose. So that's where it becomes difficult. That's where, how do I get to a more empowered communication within myself so that I respond? My ability to respond is increased. That's a key underlining meaning of the word responsibility. Your ability to respond. A lot of times, because of the language we use, you make me upset. You're making me angry. We become reactive. We react to the situation. We react out what is happening. You are making me frustrated. You are the act. I am going to react to that frustration with not a good ability because I've already lost control over the way that I'm going to be. I'm reacting. I'm in the play and I'm reacting. Just like in a play, you have lines. You are not responsible. I mean, you're responsible to show up to the play if you're in a play and, memorize your lines. But the metaphor is you're not responsible in a play. You're reacting. You're acting out the scene. Somebody comes up to me aggressively and I'm reactive. I'm going to act aggressively. I'm going to react. the act that they are giving me, and they are giving me an aggressive act. When I learn to use the word and understand the word responsibility, and I have empowered communication within myself, well, then my ability to respond increases significantly. I now have understood responsibility, and then I respond with enhanced ability. So it goes much better. Maybe I don't care that much about my 2004 black Suburban, which I do. And so I might say, please don't key my car. And that's it. And that might be the entire context of that conversation. And then I drive off. But again, my choices, my way of thinking, how am I choosing to feel? So these can definitely create the reality, the interaction, the relationship of that moment. So how do I get to places where I'm communicate, I'm choosing to be upset about this. I'm choosing to not involve myself in this. Not, seeing some family members argue and then going to back somebody up. Or even going in there to try to mitigate it, try to stop it. Oh, stop it. Not that that's good or bad. That's irrelevant. I'm not saying don't stop it. I'm not saying go stop it. I'm just saying, what are we choosing to do? Is this something that really doesn't involve me? Maybe it's a beef between two siblings, and that goes way deeper than I know because I haven't been involved in that conversation much. So I'm going to choose to know that I don't really know much about this situation, and I'm going to let them handle this. Kind of a little bit going back to the second episode, I believe, where we talked about the words thinking versus feeling. I feel like this isn't working out. We've confused ourselves. We've distorted our communication to ourselves because feelings do come upon us, harder to control, harder to really pinpoint where we might be able to change things to get to the root of what, our beliefs, which are leading to our thinking, which is causing that feeling. Well, if we start out in feeling, we're already 3 steps down the line. It's hard to pinpoint it. Those are the communication things. Let's go to the next thing. Let's go to the next stage. I've got to be quick on the uptake with this episode because I did start late. The episode before me used a little bit of extra time, which is fine. I get what I get. Do what I do. Shifting from victim mindset to ownership. So that goes back a little bit to what we were just talking about. When somebody makes us feel a certain way, when somebody makes us think a certain way, when we use the word, you make me feel angry, you make me upset, you're making us late. We do. We put ourselves in a victim state. I'm unable to do anything. I'm a victim to ownership. They own me. If they're able to control the way you feel, if they're able to control the choices causing you late to work, you are a victim to that. You can't do anything to it. And in most situations, not in every situation, of course, but in most situations, we are able to take ownership. We are able to manage our daily lives, and we are not the victim of how other people respond. If, your partner wakes up in a bad mood because they didn't sleep well, yeah, they might go around the house and be really, frustrated, short with things, a little bit off the cuff, making snotty remarks. How am I going to choose to respond to that? How am I going to choose to handle that? I could say to myself, they're not in a good mood, so I'm going to choose to separate myself a little bit more. Or maybe your spouse woke up late. You're going to make us late. I'm looking at the time. You're going to make us late. I've been ready for 10 minutes. Okay. Choose to say, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to give you the time to get ready, even though we're not leaving when I was hoping for. I'm going to choose to sit here and wait. I can also choose to just leave. If it's really something important to me, maybe I'm on my way to a grandparent's funeral and my partner woke up late in a grumpy mood and is taking way too much time to get ready, maybe I don't want to be late to this. Maybe this is something that I highly value. Maybe it's going to cause a little conflict if I just leave them. Maybe they're not even going to show up. Again, they are their own individual. My desire to go, my thoughts to go and be on time or to spend that time with family is not related to them. It's not an exchange. These are the relational difficulties we have because we expect exchanges. This is my family's funeral and we are married. You need to go to it. Nobody needs to do anything for the most part. Again, we're talking in types of majorities. Obviously, there are outliers to every situation. But my ability to enjoy that situation should not be in an exchange, relatable sense to my spouse being there with me. So if I'm going to be late, I'm going to choose to wait and be late and give my spouse the time they need or whatever to get ready and deal with their grumpy mood, if that's the case. Or I can also say, you're running late and I'm not going to be late because this is something I really want to do. So I'm going to head out now. And they might throw an uproar over that. I mean, they're already in a grumpy mood. They already slept bad. They might throw an uproar. I can't believe you'd leave without me, blah, 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 blah. Like, that's their emotion. I don't need to take ownership of your emotion, nor do I want the responsibility of managing your emotions. That's you, bro. That's you, homie. Figure it out. I'm going to leave. I said yesterday that I wanted to be here at 12:10 because the service starts at 1 and I want to be 50 minutes early to help out or talk to family, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to choose to leave because that's my honest and truthfulness to myself. I want to be there. I want to be there for 50 minutes before it starts because I want to interact with family. I'm going to choose to leave and go. Maybe you can't go. Maybe you don't have a car. Maybe you have your own car. If you have your own car, show up when you want to show up. You don't have to be there when I'm being there. That's how we encouple ourselves to a relationship of exchanges. We need to decouple those things from friends, from family, from our own spouse, and realize we're an individual. You have your emotions. You're pissed off that I'm leaving because I want to get there on time. I want to get there on time. If you want to be pissed off, then you can choose to be pissed off about it. I'm not eliminating choices from people to be pissed or angry or frustrated or sad or upset or happy or glad or whatever. I'm not eliminating that. Choose whatever you want to choose. Choose to set a boundary there. Choose to be pissed off at your mom, but choose it. Make the choice of what you honestly want to do. I want to be here on time, so I'm going to choose that. You're pissed off about that. Those are your feelings. I'm not going to get back upset about you because I'm choosing what I want to do. It makes it way easier to not be upset. I'm going to choose to get there on time. I don't need you there with me. These are my choices. And those are difficult things with family and stuff. We entangle. We interdependize. Ooh, I like that word. We interdependize on the other person's ability to do what we expect. Because we're not having empowered communication that are leading us to thoughts, beliefs, and feelings that create the responsibility to be myself. I'm a person who runs late a lot. That is me. To clients, to appointments, I'm late. Maybe that was ingrained in me as a child. I don't know. Maybe that's the spontaneity of the falafadorf in me. I don't know. But I'm very honest and truthful about this. When I work with clients, I show up late. They might say something about it. Or maybe I can just tell that this is a family or this is a client who is very timely. And I've had clients who seem and express that they are very timely people. If they have an interview that I'm helping them get to, they want to book the appointment early because they want to be to the interview 30 minutes early. I can tell that you're a person who likes on-time people. So I will create the opportunity to tell you. I go where I'm needed when I'm needed. As a wizard would say, let me get this right. because it's a line in Harry Potter, I believe. I don't really know movies that well. A wizard is never late, Bilbo Baggins. He always shows up precisely when he means to. So that's me. That's the game I roll. I roll up precisely when I mean to, which is probably 20 to 30 minutes late. But this is who I am authentically. So I tell people this honestly and truthfully. I'm a person who sometimes appointments lag. If I show up late to my first appointment, I'm going to give them an extra half hour. So if I said I'd be here at 1, you might get a text that says I'm going to be here at 1:20 or 1:40 or 1:33. Are you okay with that? If you're not okay with that, then choose that. Choose to be the person who says, I like timely people. I relate with timely people better. I would like to not work with somebody who's 20 to 40 minutes late on most sessions. Okay. Good. This was empowered communication. I told you honestly and truthfully who I am and how I function. You told me honestly and truthfully your expectations of what you would work best with. I will find you a different person to work with, because there are people that I know who are very timely and very on the dot. What's it called? I'm looking for a specific word, not on the dot, very punctual, who are very punctual. And those would probably be a better provider, a better person for you to work with. I will definitely help you or refer you to somebody else. But I'm going to be upfront with you right away. I run late. It's just how I do it. I wake up in the morning, I say I'm going to be there at 10. Kids playing cars, so I decide to play cars because he asked me, Daddy, you want to play cars? Yeah, bro, I'll get down for 20 minutes on playing cars. It's going to mean I'm 23 minutes late to my first appointment, but I'm going to get down on that playing cars. So I need to make sure that I was honest and truthful in my, communication, and I was responsible. I had an enhanced ability to respond honestly, truthfully of what I'm going to do. And now I have a more of an authentic relationship with this person. I don't have a lack of clients because I'm late. I just tell them truthfully what I am. And if they don't like it, I'm not upset at that. You can prefer punctual people. That is totally cool with me. I'm good with that. Do what you got to do to be happy and be content with your life. Roll with it, homie. So that kind of led towards the next point, which was communicating with integrity and purpose. So I would say integrity is just another word that is different than honesty, and it probably has different meanings than honesty, but kind of fits the same point, And integrity doesn't mean I'm upholding some moral value. Integrity doesn't mean that I'm following some, context of what you think the holiest way or most divine way is to live. Integrity really means that I'm following, my integrity. I do have integrity. I'm not going to scratch somebody else's car for no reason. So if you scratch my car because you thought it was a buddy's that you didn't like, then that, I'm going to say something about it, because that goes against values and rules I have within myself. Ways I think is a healthy way and an honest way to communicate within society. And these empowered ways of talking will lead us to more purposeful things in life. We will find more drive and more purpose in life when we communicate clearly our desires, the way we think, and we take an empowered stance. I'm going to be late to this appointment. I need to get to this funeral on time, so I'm going to have to leave you here. When we're choosing those choices, those values, we're following our personal integrity with honesty and truthfulness. We're being authentic. And so when we come home because our spouse chose not to go to the funeral because they wanted to be there at the same time, and maybe now they're a little embarrassed to show up at 1:03 when it's already started, knowing that you've been there for 45 minutes beforehand. So maybe they don't show at all. I chose what I wanted to do, and it's my choice. I didn't need you there for it to be a choice. I chose that. So when I come home, I knew that I followed my authentic truth. I way less likely to get into an argument over this thing. You did what you wanted to do. I did what I wanted to do. Let's call it good. Don't care that you were there. Experience one time, went on a camping trip with some friends. This is an honest story, so we're going to roll with it. Went on a camping trip with some friends. The first night, I don't know what compelled me, but it was like, we were going to pull an all-nighter, just hang out and chat all night, which we did. About 2, 3 in the morning, I just thought, I'm already missing my family, and I'd really like to go home. This was a 4-hour drive out here, and I'm having a lot of fun, but I'd like to take the next 2 days off to actually hang out with my family. Not that I don't hang out with my friends on the camping trip, but it just seemed more compelling. It just seemed like I wanted to be there more, and I had to be honest about that. So sunrise comes up, 6 a.m. I say to my buddies, I'm going to roll in a little bit. I want to get home. I want to see the fam. This was upsetting to some people because we did plan this and coordinate this. And maybe they did think it was rude for me to leave. I mean, I'm not discounting anybody's choice in the way they want to feel. But when we had a conversation about this, some people said, that made me really upset that you left early and we'd planned this camping trip. So those we had to go back. It's not that I didn't feel, I didn't feel mildly guilty for leaving the camping trip early. But it more was a factor of, this is what I honestly and truthfully wanted to do. This was my authentic route. And I do feel a little bit guilty about leaving early, but I did come to the camping trip because that's what I wanted to do. I might have still gone for a night camping even if they decided to back out, because I did want to get away for one night. I did want to camp in the desert for one night and watch the sunrise. That seemed like a good spiritual activity for me to do. So if they had an exchange in that relation dynamic and had expectations of everyone needs to be here, we're all staying here till Sunday at 3 and then we leave at 3, then they went based off an expectation of exchange. They didn't go based off, well, I want to do this. I don't care if anybody shows up. I'm doing this podcast because I want to do this. Nobody is watching this. 0 people are live watching this, and I have no guests. Yeah, it's just here, me, by myself. I'm by myself. This is what I want to do. I've tried to do this with many, many people. I've tried to get people to show up and interact, and they don't. And that's okay. I've tried it many times and realized eventually that I'm going to stop doing this. Not that I don't want other people involved with me. I would love to have other people here talking to me. Let's gib-gab it. Let's jib-jab it. But nobody wanted to do that on their own accord. So nobody was committed. Maybe they show up once in a while. Maybe they don't. Maybe they're in for only 10 minutes and have to go run an errand. I don't know. But after a while, I was like, this is what I want to do. So I should be doing this regardless of who shows up. I'll set this up. If you want to come and relate for 5 minutes, come and relate for 5 minutes and bounce. I don't care. I'm doing this because it's a joy for me. Nobody's watching this. I don't know how many views I'll get in this, but I enjoy this. I'm all by myself, just chatting to a blank screen, looking at myself with 0 people following or whatever it's called. But I'm doing this. This is my purpose. I'm being honest and truthful to what I wanted to do. I wanted to talk on a screen. So I'm going to talk on a screen. If nobody listens, nobody listens. I love it. There were some other bullet points, but it's 2:00, and I don't know if anybody has this after me. Maybe they do. So I should probably roll and wrap it up. Plus, I'm hitting that 40-minute mark. The 40-minute window seems like a good fit. I am 40. That's how old I am. So maybe 40 minutes is a good window of chitter chatter for me before I lose my train of thought because I'm getting old and ancient. Closing thoughts and takeaways. I don't really remember much of when I went over. I don't know if any of it had any point for you. Again, we go back to me loving to talk a lot. So I probably weaved and dived and dipped and rutted and don't really know where I end up. There's probably a lot that I wanted to explain, a lot of skills I wanted to go into and didn't get there. And that's okay. The main point of Empowresponsicate, episode 3, was to just build awareness into our ability to respond with empowered communication, especially to ourselves. This is an activity I want to go to. I want to go see this movie. Spouse doesn't want to go see this movie. That's okay. I made the decision. This is what I want to do. I don't need anybody here. This is a hard thing because of the language we use. You make me feel, well, we were supposed to do this. Well, I wanted us to be on time. Those type of terminologies and language that we use, they entangle us with others. And then we have an expectation, and then we're dependent on all these exchanged relationships, all these relationships built on an exchange. I do this, you do that. I promised my parents we'd be at the funeral on time, and you're not ready. That's bothering me. You're making me upset. We've gotten into a system of language where we're dependent on other people's choices, and our choices are not truly ourselves. They're not truly the honest truthfulness to what we want to do authentically. They're entangled with other people responding how we expect it. If I want to do something, I need to use language. I'm going to choose to be upset about this. I'm going to choose to be on time. I want to go to this activity. I want to go on this camping trip. You guys want to come? Yeah, we'll come. Okay. Back out 5 minutes before. That's okay. I wanted to go. Not we were supposed to go. You said you'd be there. I thought you promised me. It doesn't matter. How I'm communicating to myself leads to me being more empowered of my personal choices, my personal wants, desires, likes, enjoyments. And then I live authentically. I have gone to movies by myself. Good movie. Couldn't find anybody to go with. Well, I'll go sit into it. Maybe I walk out halfway through because it's like, I'm here by myself and the movie's not that entertaining. I'm going to bounce. Maybe that happens. But I don't feel upset about it. I don't walk out of the movie and go, oh, piss, nobody showed up. I'm going to have a bad day now. No, I left the movie because it wasn't as good as I thought. I wanted to go. Nobody could go with me. That's okay. I wanted to do something. I want to be upset about this. I want to grieve over this situation. Maybe one of my siblings could care less that a grandparent passed away. That's their relationship. I'm not going to be like, well, my sister wasn't not being very nice to everybody. She just kept complaining that she wanted to leave here early. It has nothing to do with me. I'm not going to worry about what you're complaining about. I'm just going to roll with what I want to roll with. If you're having a bad time and you don't want to be there, I hope you have empowered communication so you can just choose to leave and not care. Maybe the family is upset. Maybe a bunch of family members are like, we're pissed. You should have been there the whole time. That's their issue. That's their entanglement. If you didn't like that grandparent and you wanted to leave halfway through because you were like, I don't really know this guy that well. This is not fun for me. Then leave. Make that honest, truthful choice. Be authentic in the moment, even if people are pissed at you. That's the risk of authenticity. You're probably going to lose some relationships. You're probably going to have to deal with some conflict with a spouse or a friend or a kid or a partner or a parent or whatever. You're going to have to do this. Maybe you're going to have a conflicting, frustrating conversation with your boss. You're not showing on time to clients? What? Are they pissed? No, I've already talked to them about it. Well, that's not proper. Well, they understand. I don't care. Those are the conversations where when we're authentic, we're risking our job, we're risking that relationship, we're risking our reputation, our respectability, we're risking it all because we're empowered. We're making our honest, truthful choices. We're doing what we honestly and truthfully want to do. If you don't like it, I hope you figure out that game you're playing because I don't know how my choices affect you. And then that authenticity, it spills over. And we don't get bothered by people as much. We don't get bothered by people's choices, by people's reactions. We understand more how reactivity works versus us being responsible to ourselves. I'm going to end it there. Seemed like a good ending place. Hope you learned something. I might gather something from this. I don't really know what I talked about, but I'll watch it again and critique myself and judge myself harshly. Okay, I love you. I thank you for showing up. It was great to see you today. Be well, live well, and be yourself. Please.